she never pitched with cushion. She was a one-run game or a scoreless game, and just her first weekend, just overall your thoughts on how she threw.
Really, really well. Poised, in control, never panicked. Her goal was just to get us unscathed out of innings, and she did such a great job with that. But I just thought her demeanor, poise, her maturity showed more than I had ever seen it thus far in her career.
When you look at Jordy, I know great first game, a little off second game. Is she still? This is probably the least she's pitched over a 6, 7, 8 month stretch in competitive games in a while. Are you seeing? Is this part of her coming back, getting back to where she was pre-injury last year?
Yeah, I think so. I think she's a little nervous, to be honest, and she can be because it's been such a long while, and I think she is a little bit tight, and I don't think she's thinking in her head anything about the injury or anything like that. I think it's just, I think it was just a lot of nerves, honestly. I foresee her back, taking time. It's going to take some time to get her back where she wants to be.
Patty, what's the timeline on Kenzie getting back? And also, what did you think about the way both your catchers performed?
Yeah, well, she won't be back this weekend. I will not have her in game yet. She's not quite ready for that. I thought her catchers were outstanding, both of them. And, Sophia hasn't really gotten a lot of time. And now as a sophomore stepping in right away, she really handled herself very well, handled the pitchers very well. And, it's funny because Haley Lee has such just a chill, kind of free living type of athlete. So sometimes I get aggravated because in practice, it's not 100%. It's just good enough to get it done. But to see her in game, she was hustling. It looked completely different. I'm like, wow, I haven't seen you look like that before. So I thought she was poised as well. I think they both handled their pitchers. Pitchers didn't complain about anything. They felt like the catchers handled them very well.
Did you know that about Haley going in?
No, not really. I knew her personality was a little bit different, but everybody needs that fun-loving, free-spirited person in your locker room, and I have now a few because Jada has kind of been that person for us, but I didn't know what her practice style was like. She definitely turns it up to another gear when we're in game.
Patty, you were here last week and said, don't learn as much from the run rules. Well, there's a mixed bag last weekend. So what did you take out of the first weekend?
A lot, more than I can remember. We had a lot of nerves. I don't know if it was, and it wasn't just newcomers, it was almost felt like throughout the lineup. I don't know if it's expectation. We talked about it. It just was taking at bats away from us. When you're nervous, your head isn't set right. You're swinging at things out of the zone. You're swinging at bad 2-strike pitches. So I felt nerves definitely were there. The first 2 games on Thursday, we were not ourselves. We were not. And we were lucky to get out of there with 2 wins. The response on Friday was fantastic. I thought they played really well. Response on Saturday was fantastic, although our pitchers were tight. So 9 walks, 2 hit batters, and 2 errors, and we still beat Washington is a sign of a good team. We didn't play clean. And Sunday's effort was weak, and I was really not happy with that. So I would rather feel the way I do right now than to walk out of there going, oh, that was great. Oh, God. Our expectations and our standards are quite high, and they know that, and they knew they were lucky to walk out of there with 5-0. So this weekend we're looking forward to just getting things straightened out.
Why do you think the players were that kind of lucky, as you say, to go 5-0? What do you think was like the main kind of problems that you saw this past week?
Some of these guys looked like they were close to hyperventilating at times before they were going up to the plate. So it was just the demeanor and the it's just getting them to exhale. We got to breathe. We got to breathe. We got to slow things down. We got to not make the game too big. I think they know how good our team is, and I think they try hard because they want to stay in their positions. I can create all kinds of storylines for you, but I just think it was beginning of the season jitters. We've been used to playing against ourselves for so long. To see somebody else in a different uniform with different faces, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, except I'm glad that they felt that way.
Patty, you mentioned kind of that takeaway of feeling like the team was lucky to come away with 5 wins. What does that do to the mindset moving forward? Does that maybe increase the sense of urgency that, hey, we may not always get lucky, or we know we need to play better? Just what does that feeling do for moving forward?
Yeah, I think they have more pride in that than the way they played. And I think that the first weekend off of us, they'll come in more settled. We need to work harder. We need to hustle more. We need to do all those blue-collar things we talk about that we're not doing. So in the dugout, we need to be more engaged in what's going on. You need to see the situation, live the situation with the hitter, live the situation with the base runners, instead of being spectators in the dugout. And that's how we learn, by putting ourselves in those positions and seeing how it plays out. What would I do here and why? Versus just along for the ride. And so we talked a lot about that, just not putting in that disciplined effort to learn more out of what we were doing.
Patty, do you feel, Grace gets her error out of the way, she may not make another one, but it was a really pretty good defensive weekend for you, wasn't it? Jennings saving the run, Riley Boone cutting the ball off. Did you feel like
I thought so, yeah. There was I'm not making excuses, but there was an error on Boone playing left field, and the ball took a hop and went that way, and it went off the side of her glove. It's not manicured daily like ours is, so you got to learn how to play on that stuff. Everybody in early part of the season is playing in Puerto Vallarta and playing on park fields, so you get what you get. So I didn't walk away going, wow, we just got to work on defense. Not at all. Not at all.
Patty, we know now when we move to the SEC is going to happen. What is your reaction to that, and how does that affect something for this year? We talk about recruiting and scheduling and all of that.
Well, scheduling has always been difficult for us, being in the Big 12 specifically, and then as teams were dropping in softball, we have, I think, 7 of us or whatever it is. So it's always having to go out and find heavy-hitting tournaments and bolstering up our RPI, and then we get pretty good and people don't want to play us. So it has been, and it's costing us a lot of money to create a lineup that is, seen as a tough schedule, or create a schedule that looks tough. So that means we're chartering flights or taking planes to LSU, to Mississippi State, to the East, Ohio, places like that, just to get good competition in some of these tournaments or single games. So going into the SEC, I can wipe my hands of that. I don't have to beg. I don't have to pay. I don't have to do those things anymore. But I'm excited about, the competition there is going to be tough, and it's going to be a grind. It's day in and day out, all throughout. It is a very, very, very competitive softball conference. So, I'm going to enjoy the rest of my time in the Big 12, but I'm certainly ready to take that next step.
Did you happen to see what happened in Kentucky?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Your thoughts
No.
on that?
No. No. I talked to a particular umpire, and the coach didn't do anything wrong. It's just, it's gamesmanship. Period. The end.
You see it in travel ball a lot now.
Oh,
Coaches
yeah.
are looking at their watches, looking at their
Yeah.
clocks.
You know, they used to have the clock up on the scoreboard. Not yet?
You mentioned about the team, that eighth inning, when you need to, you know what's coming, you're just sack on everything going on around you. Just how proud are you of the way the defense reacted? And then just to find a way to scratch across the run in the eighth inning, does that show a lot just about this team?
Yeah.
Backs against the wall.
Yeah. That's why I'm not walking out just panicked by anything, because they made big time double plays, big time plays when they needed it, big time pitches thrown at the right time by Nicole May. So, you know, I've learned this throughout all my years. A very good team can play bad or not, you know, just not get breaks or not play well and still find ways to win. And we're finding ways to win. And we know we walked out knowing we didn't do enough. We didn't hit well. 2 strikes, we're rolling over and giving up outs. And we weren't fighting the way we know how. But part of that, I felt, was just the tightness of uncertainty and should I, shouldn't I, that kind of stuff. So our practices the last couple of days have been focused towards being aggressive towards one of the first 3 pitches. If you're not swinging at and if it's thrown for a strike and you're taking it next, I mean, we're just really trying to hound that. We were taking good pitches and swinging at some bad ones. So.
For more information, you can visit tulsaworld.com.